In a franchise filled with iconic designs, the Stormtrooper doesn't get talked about enough for how striking that design actually is. The shiny white armor and black accents are an amazing contrast that still looks awesome almost 50 years after their debut. In this transmission, I'll give you a dozen facts about these soldiers of the Empire and dispel one rumor that has devolved into an exhausted joke. Before we dive in, this video is sponsored by Gentle Giant Limited. They sent this Milestones Han Solo as a Stormtrooper statue, as seen in A New Hope. After the video, go to gentlegiantltd.com/star-wars. Stormtroopers, along with much of the Imperial aesthetic, were inspired by the German Nazi Party from World War II. Even the name Stormtrooper is translated from the German Sturmtruppen, and I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation there, was used in the First and Second World Wars. To get the look and feel of the military machine right, real-life military men and women were used for formation scenes. The British military cooperated with the production to accomplish the precise marches and formations without the production team having to painstakingly train extras. The armor may look cool, but it was incredibly uncomfortable for the actors and stunt performers to wear. It was created by vacuum-forming plastics. It didn't breathe, so the performers would overheat. The armor was brittle and made moving very difficult. The helmets were very hard to see out of, which leads to our next fact. I'm sure most of you watching a Star Wars lore video have seen this going around the internet or noticed it in the movie yourself. There's a stormtrooper that bumps his head on a door aboard the Death Star. It looks like this was an accident, but I have seen some arguments online that it wasn't. Some saying that George Lucas wouldn't have included it in the movie if it was. Others point to the fact that there's a sound effect added for this in the special edition release of the original trilogy. I tend to think this was an on-set accident that the production team just rolled with. Stormtroopers hold their E11 blaster rifles in their left hand despite most people being right-handed. This is because the Sterling submachine gun that was used as the weapon's base has a side-mounted magazine that makes holding them in one's right hand while standing in formation pretty awkward. Star Wars may be a global sensation now, but when it was being made, it was a strange project with limited resources and time. The production team had a mere 6 weeks to make every set of armor needed for the movie. Because of the rush job, there are inconsistencies in the Stormtrooper armor and the helmets are slightly asymmetrical. There is no on-set dialogue from a single Stormtrooper for A New Hope. Every line was redubbed or added in post. The armor involved for each installment of the original trilogy. With a bit more time and money for The Empire Strikes Back, the helmets were remade to be more even and sharper looking. In Return of the Jedi, the helmets were further refined and the abdominal plate received more detailing. Early on in conception, George Lucas thought about arming every single Stormtrooper with a lightsaber and energy shield. I'm glad this idea was scrapped. I don't think the lightsaber would have become so iconic if it wasn't limited and special. This would come back in small ways like the Imperial Royal Guards wielding force pikes. The vast majority of Stormtrooper actors were male, but not all of them. This was primarily done to have different sized bodies in the armor to make the army look more natural. Though the armor was supposed to be futuristic, the footwear was painted Chelsea boots. This was a very common style of footwear in the 1970s. The boots had elastic side panels, making them relatively comfortable for actors to wear for long stretches. Now let's talk about this rumor that I'd like to dispel and the joke that goes along with it that just needs to end. It's been done to death. This is that Stormtroopers are a bad shot. Even in the movie, Obi-Wan Kenobi tells Luke that only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise. Later in the movie, after all the shots are missed, Leia tells the group that their escape was easy because they were let go. It's all there in the movie, let's just leave it alone now. This Milestones 1/6 scale statue depicts Han with Imperial blaster raised. It features an interchangeable helmeted and unhelmeted head. Han stands approximately 12 inches tall atop a black disc base. This is limited to only 1,000 pieces. Every piece comes with a numbered certificate of authenticity in a full color box. This is a really cool piece for sure. I remember as a kid I so badly wanted the Power of the Force figure of Han just like this in the Stormtrooper armor. I could never find it when I had enough money to go to the store to grab a figure. To have a foot-tall version of it on my shelf now is an amazing full circle moment as a fan. The Stormtrooper helmeted version is pretty cool, but I'm going to display it with Han's head being shown, otherwise it could be mistaken for just any other Stormtrooper. The face casting is pretty good, you recognize that it's Han Solo, but I do like the face casting from the Gentle Giant Han on Endor mini bust, check the link in the cards, a little bit better. This does represent the man and the iconic scene from the original Star Wars movie, so all in all, very happy with it. I love the details in the armor, getting a close look up at these details is always fun. The resin statue feels very firm, I'm not worried about a limb breaking off or anything like that. It's also secure on the base. I wouldn't move it around holding just the base without securing it, but it won't topple off a shelf even with kids or pets running around. Once again, a major thank you to Gentle Giant Limited for sending this one over so that I could unbox it, review it, display it, and share it with all of you. Check out gentlegiantltd.com/star-wars for this Han Solo in Stormtrooper armor statue and other unique Star Wars products. They have the matching Luke in Stormtrooper armor that would be really awesome to pick up and put on the shelf right next to this one. There is a link in the description for your convenience. It is not an affiliate link. I'm just trying to make things easier for you to grow your own collection. Check out this video next to dive back into Star Wars lore.